to your markets news now. Asian stocks traded mostly higher, taking a positive cue from the United States as sentiment appears positive around tech stocks. The Nikkei share average rose by 0.5%. The Hang Seng Index gained 0.44%, while the Shanghai Composite Index ended the session up 0.67%. Over in the United States, markets ended the session on a mixed note, with the tech sector forging ahead. Tesla shares rose by 5.6% on talk that Trump would be looking to ease regulations for self-driving vehicles. This helped to boost the Nasdaq. Meanwhile, investors are keenly looking out for chip maker Nvidia's earnings report due out tomorrow. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed down 0.13%. The S&P 500 ended the session up 0.4%, while the Nasdaq Composite Index rose by 0.6%. The all-share index is currently up by about 0.1% at 84,524 index points. The rand is trading at 18.15 against the US dollar, 22.90 vis-a-vis the British pound, and 19.11 against the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is trading at $2,625 an ounce, platinum at $965 per ounce, while Brent crude oil is trading at $72.80 a barrel. All right, I'm joined by Makwe Masilela. He's the Chief Investment Officer at Makwe Fund Managers. Thank you so much, Makwe, for joining us. So as usual, there are many moving parts influencing the markets. How are you seeing things today?
You know, it was not too bad when we started the session. I mean, we were up nicely, so we gave back almost all the earlier gains. And even though market started the session wanting to know how Trump will continue building up his administration, because we had a very keen interest, and we still have that interest, to see who will become the Treasury Secretary and also who will be in charge of trade. But I think now the issue that is preoccupying market participants is the escalation of that Russia-Ukraine conflict. We've seen Russia saying that anyone who's going to make some aggressive attack on our soils, then would have the right to start using nuclear weapons. And I think that was in retaliation to the fact that the US authorized Ukraine to be able to use some of the missiles that they gave them. But here we are, we saw Ukraine, firing up the first one, and we hope Russia doesn't retaliate. Maybe the likes of China will be able to call Russia and convince them otherwise. So we've seen what we call safe haven assets doing okay, whether it's your bonds, whether it's your Japanese currency, the yen, or the likes of the Swiss franc, also the likes of gold benefiting out of that.
Yeah, so you talk about gold, punters reckoning that it could breach $3,000 an ounce. Do you think that's not too far-fetched?
It's possible, especially after the latest development when it comes to the geopolitics, because people will see that as a safe haven, then the demand will increase. So the fact that we are saying Donald Trump's policies are inflationary, then we have to start dialing back our expectations when it comes to interest rate increases. Then that might, limit the gains if we need be. Because remember, in an environment where interest rates are elevated, the opportunity cost of holding the metal becomes so high, unlike when maybe interest rates are start going down. So anything is possible in this instance. But I think in the short term or near short term, these geopolitics are the ones who will be driving what we call the yellow metal prices.
Yeah. And then you touched on interest rates. Here at home, it's MPC week. What's the local market expecting in terms of rate cuts? Are they expecting a rate cut or unchanged?
Before the interest rate decision, we'll get our latest CPI number, and we've seen the last one, it was 3.8%. We still expect it to be just under 4%, and as a result, we still expect to get that early Christmas bonus, to get that decrease on interest rate. The question is, the January meeting, that's the one that continues to be uncertain, given the fact that the US will still have to hold their meeting in December. Yeah. So yes, the market are expecting a decrease of 25 basis points come Thursday.
So we know that there are a lot of factors that influence the local currency, including exogenous factors like the geopolitics that you were talking about. But how significant do you think the Standard & Poor's upgrading of South Africa's outlook to positive from stable is for the country? And does this go any way, forward in bolstering the local currency?
I think it was more of their reasoning behind, not the decision itself, because all they did, they reinforced the market participants' confidence that we think that the GNU will be able to accelerate all the structural reforms that needs to be happening into our economy. So that managed to lift the rand. And yes, also as well, if we are now, the outlook is positive, it means the next move should be an upgrade. But I think it was more the reasoning behind which reinforced what market participants have been saying before.
Yeah, very quickly, asset manager, Coronation fund managers, they came out with their annual financials for the year ended September 2024. The report, revenue up 7% to 3.9 billion rand and headline earnings per share up 245%, which is massive. And they're giving shareholders a gross dividend of 2.28 rand a share. Your thoughts on this particular fund manager?
Very good results, and that makes a dividend per share increase of almost 38%. They've managed to increase their asset under management by 11%, and we've seen that SA asset class returns have been very robust.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your very prompt response. That was Makwe Masilela. He's Chief Investment Officer at Makwe Fund Managers.